yeah. Okay. So I last off of my story is, I'm done. I'm done with chemo treatment. I had chemo radiation, and then I had to do some chemo pills. And that I stated I finished my chemo pills. Um, well, I don't know if I told you this because it's been so long, but I finished my chemo pill April the 20th, 2019. I never forget that because I was in Vegas when I popped my last chemo pill, and I was so excited. Um, and it was a good celebration. I went to Vegas with my cousins, and Vegas was so fat on 420. It was really nice. I had a good time. We had a ball. So did that, and then trying to get my mojo back. And, I was applying for jobs thinking, okay, well, after a while, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go back to work. But August of 2019, I lost my aunt on my mama's side. It's eight of them, eight girls. So it was the first, you know, she's the first of the eight sisters that passed away. And that was unexpected. So that was devastating. As you all know, I'm a family person, so I'm close to all my family on my mama and my daddy's side, both. It's been plenty of times where both sides of the family, when we have functions, both sides of the family are there. That's how close we are. Um, so that happened. Like I said, I lost my aunt of August of 2019. So, okay, went through that process, that grief process. Then, bam, February of 2020. 2020 was the worst. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only family that went through it on 2020 besides the COVID of everything, but it hit. But with our family, it started 2019. Like I said, it started with my aunt in 2019. And then, bam, February of 2020, I lost my Uncle Bub. Um, it was one of my good uncles, one of my faves. He's on my daddy's side, and loved him to death. So lost him as my grandmother's brother. So lost him in 2020 of February, and then what was it? September. Then September of 2020, I lost my granddaddy on my daddy's side. And that right there, like I was devastated on all of them, but that right there is when I had my first anxiety attack, and I didn't have a clue that I was going to go through it like it, that I was going to take it how I took it, because it was part of being a little selfish. You know how we do. Because my granddad, he lived a good life. He was 90. I think he was 90 when he passed away, and if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, he lived a good life, but that man right there was like my daddy. So I can just only imagine. I don't want to imagine, honestly, how I would feel if it was like my actual parents. But yeah, my granddaddy, yeah, I had my first anxiety attack with him. He passed away in September. And then I didn't even have time to finish grieving with him. And in October of 2020, I lost my grandmother on my mother's side. And that was devastating. As I mentioned before, I'm a family person. So we are all close. So each one of these deaths hit me hard. And I just had to find a way to get through it. It was hard. I went through all the grieving process, the anger, the denial, everything. Now that one, I can say my grandmother, I mean, I'm not through with none of them. I still constantly think about them and miss them. But my grandmother, I don't think I went through the whole grieving process. I'm still more so angry because I felt like um we should have more time. Um and it was COVID. We couldn't really see her as much. We was in a hospital. She was in a hospital, I mean, and and in the nursing home. So it's just a lot of anger there. It's like, how did this happen? Because she was healthy. She was perfectly fine. I mean, she got COVID the beginning of the year. I want to say January. She got better from that. She was fine. And I mean, when I say fine, is that for her age, she remembered everything. She still took care of herself. She knew when to take, she can go to the bathroom, everything. I mean, she needed a little assistance, but she could do it. Um, so that part right there was just like, how did she do a 360 that quick where they like, it's nothing they can do. And, so that it hurt. It really did. And it hurt even more seeing my mother being hurt, go through it, because my mother was there. She was at her bedside when she took her last breath. My mother described to me how she was breathing, and described how the nurses had called my mother and the other sisters. Because as I mentioned, I told you there's 8 of them, and called them and told them they need to get up there. Um, so yeah, my mother was up there at that time, and the other sisters was coming, yeah, when she took her last breath. So it hurts, I'm pretty sure, like I said, we're not the only family that went through this. Um, but yeah, so that's part of that story, what I went through with all of that. And then in the midst of me trying to regroup myself from going through the cancer, and then also trying to get back to work. So it was hard, and I had to learn a lot of coping skills, what worked for me, what didn't work, and how to manage and navigate through life going through this. Because, and then also, not only me, I have a 14-year-old son. He's 14-year-old now, but at the time he wasn't, and he's experiencing all these loss, and it didn't stop right then and there. It didn't stop. It continued on. So stay tuned. I will tell you more, so of everything. So yeah, it's life be life, and honey, as they say. But we gotta stay strong and just keep fighting through the battle. So yeah, you all take care, and I'll talk to you again soon. We can survive based on surviving recovery.